I have the math and stuff on my own time
Okay.
that I had researched. My initial question from earlier was, what is the union's stance on the current median salary for controllers? Is it an agreement? Is it not an agreement? Those are that's the question. And then I had some other stuff that I wanted to talk about based on that answer.
Yeah, what would I be agreeing with or disagreeing with, Eric?
Do you think air traffic controllers get paid enough?
No, I think that we should always be finding ways to find a way to move our wages forward.
Okay, I respect that answer. So over the past 9 years, NATCA's dues receipts have grown at a 2.8% annual rate.
Or what?
I said NATCA's dues receipts, the total money that NATCA has collected from members, has grown at a 2.8% annual rate.
Okay.
Over 9 years, that's $245 million. At that 2.8% rate, NATCA will have collected over $410 million over the life of the slate book from 2016 until the extension date of 2029 that you extended to. My question is, fundamental question, how does the union justify collecting almost $500 million from controllers, yet controllers have seen an erosion of 10% of their net purchasing power? If NATCA's true mission is to advocate for its members and economic security, why hasn't this substantial revenue translated into contract gains?
So I think it's all based on the fact of what is the reality of being able to negotiate. If you believe that it would always go up and we would never have a problem, like go back and rewind to 2016 and let's learn what's happened. If somebody said today, right now, Eric, that there would be only a gain, that there wouldn't be a loss of 77 contract articles, and that our union wouldn't have to, and you wouldn't have a loss of annual leave, basic watch schedules, and many of the provisions of our contract, like sign me up. I'd be in and we'd be negotiating in 2026. That's why the provision is there to be able to open the contract up. Now, the very monies that you just talked about saved the 12.2% on top of those that are collected through our PAC and otherwise, and going out and ensuring that we have the gains that we have seen and moved so far, and that the advocacy for our membership is there. And while it's never been perfect, and I've been the president for a year, it should be something that we're continuously doing. And listen, we could have moved the dues, and the members could have moved the dues at convention, and the monies that are taken in are going to be representative, reflective of the representation that we all receive. Now, to take the political climates where they are, the realities that exist, and then somehow say that the very union that's attempting to move all those things is somehow going to translate directly, it's comparing two different worlds. Would I want you to get the same rate of your investment versus your return? Well, my pay's doubled over my career. Since 2009, where I CPC'd in 2006, had my pay froze for 3 years, and then in 2010 was the first time I saw a raise. My pay's doubled. I'm ahead of inflation, but I've been around for 20-something years. Many of you have not, and I understand 100%, that's the pain that you're feeling. And so if we don't have the ability to term negotiate right now because of the loss of all those, then we have to create the other opportunities to do the very goals that we both agree on, which is find ways to increase compensation, especially during very difficult economic times. We wouldn't be talking about recruitment, retention.
Sure.
We wouldn't be talking about training. We wouldn't be talking about modernization and all those ways that we're trying to create pathways. We wouldn't be talking about advocacy, which I'm surprised hasn't come up yet, and ensuring that facilities are compensated correctly. We wouldn't be talking about ways to move people to higher levels of pay, like all those things. And again, the protections of retirement. I'm right there with you. Our goals are aligned. I just have to weigh the realities of what we face. And the realities of what we face right now is we have those executive orders that are real and in place that would strip away a majority of our contract. And many of the things that we're talking about tonight are ways to increase and get more. So we have to capitalize on those opportunities. So I believe our goals are 100% aligned. It's now, how do we navigate the minefield, Eric, to get there? So how do I justify it? I justify it because the fight will never be over. We absolutely take in I would say, revenue that is needed to move an organization, and looking to find the ways to put the money back in our members' pockets. I know my raises have far outdone the amount of dues that I've paid over the course of this career. But there hasn't always been these very difficult times. And ultimately, we'll have to make a decision. And I think this probably leads to your point and many others, Eric, of where does it go in the future?
Sure, yeah. I just want to bring up one more thing. I just want to get it in. The slate book, the slate book pay table. I'm just going to use base, no locality, the pay structure that's in the contract from 2016. CPC, no locality, 106,811. August 2025, after 9 years of presidential raises, the current pay table has it at 130,212. 130,212.
What level?
Level 12. I'm just hypothetically, it should all be the same because everything is percentage based. Every raise that has ever occurred to the book is a presidential percentage raise. And then if you go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, they have a calculator. And I encourage. Okay.
Understand the math you're using. Not that I'm trying to dispute it.
Sure. No, I'm just using two numbers. The original number of 106,000 that was signed in 2016. That's the pay that's still in the contract. The current pay table.
Move the pay band.
Correct. The minimum is 130,212. That's the 2025 pay structure. That's for level 12.
Just give me a second here. Trying to move with you, brother.
Understood.
A lot of numbers being thrown around that I'm not looking at that you are. We also have the June pay raise. Are you talking about that as well?
No, it's just strictly what is in the contract from 2016 to what the minimum base pay is now.
Okay. All right, go ahead with yours. Maybe I'm just not seeing the full picture. What
$106,811 is what was signed into date on July of 2016 for a level 12 controller, no locality. Today, no locality, that pay is $130,212. Okay. You can look it up, fact check it later. Yes. If you go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, they have a calculator that calculates what your pay would be if it kept up with inflation. If you plug in those two numbers on the government accessible website, the government source, it spits out that if our pay would have kept up, it would be $143,000.
Okay.
We're $13,000 short, which translates to 10.5%. So you said that your pay doubled in your career, but honestly, that's not true because the base of the NATCA contract has not kept up with inflation. So
here, let me give you numbers that don't have statistics associated with them. When I CPC'd, it was $103,000 at Fort Worth Center. That includes locality, which is part of it. The June pay raises in the January. And when I left being at Fort Worth Center, I was at $219,000.
Understand, but in 2016, you got paid one apple to do this job. Now you are getting paid 9/10 of an apple to do this job. That's as simple as it needs to be. Everyone's case is different. The locality around the country is different. The cost of living is different. So we can't factor in all those variables. The base structure of the pay table is the only thing that can be observed. So the other thing that I have, I'm going to move on from pay because it's not worth arguing about. The other thing that you mentioned
Eric, I don't think we're arguing. I think, okay.
I think we discussed it enough, and I think the point was made. Well, you made a comment earlier about 2,000 people being hired per year.
Hold on.
And that's going to net to 1,000 controllers. Okay, I'm trying to move on, but if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it.
Hey, Eric, yeah, can I just step in? We've been on this for a couple minutes. Sorry, Nick.
Hold on. I want to finish this. So here's where I want to say, Eric, is all of those things that anybody talks about in statistics and numbers and what's being kept up and what's not being kept up, those are arguments we would use and continue to use to try to do the very thing that I said from the beginning is pay. And there's not a world where somebody's looking to give us something. You all are looking and saying we need to have a collective voice in going out and doing that. I'm talking about the realities that exist. Those realities that exist are what we have in front of us today and the pathways to get there. No one's trying to say, I want to figure out a way to get less. I don't like pay, or that we don't want to do that. There's economic ways. There's different ways to show rates of inflation. There were proposals in the Indigo book when they had theirs open to try to find ways to compensate for inflation in ways that we can look at it too. All of our goals absolutely align in it. Now we have to talk about the realities that are associated. So we can convince ourselves of the ways to talk about it, the ways to put percentages into it. I'm 100% with you, and it's not an argument. It is, all right, those are the realities. Now, how do we change it and how do we face it given the circumstances we're under? So I just wanted to make sure that everybody realizes it's not a point lost. It is simply a way that we have to deal with the directions of the administration, the realities of our country, and until they either deflate or we continue to inflate and no one can live, it's going to be a topic that we have to face, that we have to work through, and that the members should be involved in. So I applaud that you take the time to look at it, find ways to argue it, find ways to show what the differences in those numbers are. And I welcome any and all of them, because it will only help us go out and tell our story that much better. So
Thank you, brother.
by all means, and Eric, I'll come right back to you on your second thing that you wanted, since we spent some time on that one.